Good morning, everybody. You are welcome to another session, another master class. So my name is Benjamin, and I'll be hosting this class. I'll be moderating essentially, and my name is Benjamin Ahia, and I'm the deputy country lead for DigiClan Nigeria. So maybe I'll just give a brief, introduction about DigiClan. DigiClan is a community of digital professionals across countries such as Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, among others. We're a big advocate for personal and professional development. We facilitate high-profile classes and courses for all our members, at most times no cost or maybe a little cost, essentially for them to become better at what they do, because mediocrity is not in our playbook. So our community is a close-knit one, such that digital professionals and enthusiasts in marketing, design, business management, can build meaningful relationships with each other, share information and ideas. One of which is the reason why we hold master classes. And today's master class is actually going to be a very insightful one, because we have Princewill Akuma, who will be speaking about placing value on yourself, your skills, and multiplying your income periodically. So Princewill is a product of transitioning from disc jockeying to marketing. Over the past 6 years, he has grown his career across media, entertainment, HR, business consulting sectors, and early stage startups. So Princewill currently leads content marketing at Octamile, an insurtech startup simplifying access to insurance for Africa. So he has worked at Pan-African brands like Workforce Group, Ringia One Africa Media, um, Ring, Ringia One Africa Media, Cool FM, as a subject matter consultant for some of the startups. Princewill loves food, cardio, exercises, and you can find him on princewillakuma.com and across various social media platforms. He's the Akuma. Princewill, I'll be handing over to you. Take note that the meeting is actually recorded. So at the end of the session, we would get a link to be able to watch the meeting again. So Princewill, over to you.
Hi everyone. So I'm just going to turn my camera to just say hello. I hope you're having a fantastic Saturday. Thank you, DigiClan, for having me. Thanks to everyone. Sorry, can you hear me? My volume.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, all right. Thank you. I will try and speak a bit louder. Thanks to DigiClan for having me. I think that as marketing people, we all know the importance of community. I'm someone that has benefited from, being in communities and, having to benefit that. Always happy to share what I have learned over the last couple of years anytime I'm called upon. So it's a pleasure to be here. I also see some of the people I respect here. So please also don't hesitate to share any insights, call me back or anything. Let's have a really interactive session. What I do promise is hopefully at the end of this, you would find new ways to place value on yourself, your skills, and periodically find ways to increase your income, because we live in a world today that inflation is always on the rise. There's a lot of demands on you. So that needs to be something that you're really, really aware. I would like to take your permission to put up my camera so that you don't have any issues with network or anything. But if you need me to put it on anytime, let me know. So I will move to present my screen. Let me know when you can see that. And once we're live, I will turn off the camera. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Yes.
Can you still see my screen?
No.
Not again.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Let me fix this. I want to share it as a tab rather, so that I will be able to see everyone and talk to everyone as well.
Yeah, can see
Yeah,
your
we
screen
can
now.
see it now.
Okay, fantastic. So, welcome to placing value on yourself, skills, and how to multiply your income. To those of us that might want to screenshot or anything, don't bother yourself with that. This resource will be shared as a PDF to you. In the resource as well, there's some places where I have linked certain content that I feel that are also valuable to just further reading and anything. And thank God that we're recording it as well, so that we can get it and then go over it. The thing with learning is action is really very, very important. And going over it over and over again, doing it once is not just enough. Going over it again can really help you spot the action that you desire to achieve. So at the end of this, one question I want you starting out now is you need to have at the top of your mind is, what would you like to achieve? And I would want to probably get one or two persons responding to that. By the time you leave this, what is one thing you feel you want to achieve? So maybe you can drop a comment in the session. If you want to unmute your mic and say something, we have 1 minute to go through that, please. What is one thing that you would like to take away from this session? Anyone? I'm going to start calling names. Okay, better insight into personal branding. Aditola, thank you so much. Anyone else? Emmanuel, what would you like to take away from this? You know you're the biggest culprit, so I would definitely call you out. Hello, Emmanuel, can you hear me?
Hi, is it my Emmanuel?
Yes, it's your Emmanuel. Come on. Emmanuel.
All right, yeah. Thank you for the previous show. So yeah, for me, I look forward to to learning how to present the value that I provide to brands and businesses, so that I can attract premium clients, basically. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Attract premium brands. Chima, I see your hand is raised. Please.
Oh yeah, good morning. Hi Princewill. Hi everybody. All
Hi.
protocols duly observed. So I'm looking forward to learning how to access more markets, right? As a digital marketer.
Okay. All right. Thank you for saying that. Put value. Kende says put value on my skill. It's something I have been struggling with for a long time. Now, some of the conversations we have here will not cover everything in your expectation, but what we can do is ask particular questions, and then we can get into that. So even if it's not something that is covered in this session, in this slide, when we get to the question Q&A session, please ask those questions. I'm sure that I can provide insights, and I know a couple of people that have experiences here that can provide insights, right? So for me, that would be for you to change how to see your value. Learn why you are stuck. Learning why you're stuck where you are right now, why what you think it should be is not working. I feel some of the things we'll cover here will unlock the questions you need to begin to ask yourself, and the changes you need to begin to make. Your self-worth, your self-esteem, and your earnings. I feel that one of the things you will take away is, these things and how they impact you. If you do have issues with money and how you perceive money and how you perceive asking for certain things, it might be because of certain things in your past and all sorts. Acknowledging that, understanding that can help you become a bit more self-aware, and then you start beginning to ask questions, even if it's not covered here. Ask questions: how can you uncover better ways for you to improve your self-worth, self-esteem, and then carry that on into when you're requesting for improved earnings. The next thing for me basically would be, which money is so important to every one of us, all of us. Some people hide and shy away from it, but it will basically how to periodically increase your income. So let's get started. I would like to ask and review some questions as well. Please don't hesitate to say anything. Nothing you say here is wrong. What we've come here is to learn and then help us look at these questions and use them to further dive deep into what we're doing today. Now, my first question is, if I ask you here today, Chima, if I ask you how much are you worth, what would be don't give me a figure, don't give me anything, don't get political. What would be the first thing that comes to your mind when I ask how much are you worth?
I'd probably think depends on what service you are asking for, what service I'm offering to you, and how much of my time it will take.
Okay, thank you. Chima has gone the route of placing that value in monetary terms, okay, and also what is it that you're asking me to do for me to answer that question, right? If I ask again, how much will you put your skill or your skills right now? Who wants to take this? If I ask you right now, how much would you, Kendi, if I ask you right now, how much would you place on your skills? Before you give me a number or before you give anyone a number, what would be the first thing you will think about?
Okay, for me, the first thing I would think about is the amount of time and money I've used to invest in the knowledge I have at the moment. So that would be the first thing I would like to think about. Then the second thing is okay, the value I'm bringing, how much time, or what are the results? What is the value of the results I will be giving out in value? So those two things will be the first things I would think about.
Yep. First two answers from Chima and Kende, fantastic, and it's making my job easier already. So valuing your time, valuing how much am I investing in this, what is the output that is expected of me, for me to be able to start saying, hey, this is what my skill will be, this is what I will be quoting, right? Now, if I ask you, after I ask you these two questions and I ask you, why are you convinced that you are worth that much? What would you say? Kende, please take it.
Okay, so I would just first of all roll out what I've achieved based on the past work experience. So I think that would be the first thing I would need to like roll out to convince whoever wants to like hire me in that at that particular time.
Okay, Kende would share his achievements, right? Is there anyone else here that would share something else away from achievements? Adetola? Anyone else? What else would you share away from your achievements to answer this question? Why do you think you're worth this much? Okay, so I guess nobody. Now, if I asked another question, what do you want so badly in your career right now? Anybody, any answers? Okay. Thank you, Zeki. Maybe brands I've worked with. Fantastic. What do you want badly in your career right now? What is the one thing you want badly in your career that you think if it happens, will change everything for you? What are those things? Or one thing you feel? Guys, let's not keep quiet, please. It might be more money. It might be team leadership role. Osas, please. Thank you. I see your hands. Your hand is raised.
Hi everyone. So I think it would be, aside money, of course, which is important, but I think it would be recognition.
Recognition. Okay, thank you. Osas, when you say recognition, from who? From industry, from the employer?
Oh yeah,
from your
industry. Aside just being in the back and doing great stuff and not being able to, just come out and put your face to your work, really.
Okay, put your face to your work. I see someone raised her hand. Victoria, I think you are the one. Please go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. For me, aside money, I think it's mentoring. Like I need a strong mentoring. That's what I need. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Victoria. Fantastic, strong mentorship. And I think that is very, very abundant in DigiClan. And I have Alfred, and Alfred, switch to client side. And if you don't know Alfred is a very big man in the industry. So I understand why he's saying switch to client side, and that's fantastic. Career growth and industry recognition, Checky. Okay. My next question would be, what threats are standing in your way from achieving these things? Any of these things that you said, Victoria, let's start with you. Let's be honest. What do you think that is a threat for you not having a strong mentor, like you said, or strong mentorship, like you pointed out?
Okay, I think the major trait that I have is I feel everybody's busy, and you get to meet some people, and they tend to ask you out at the long run. So I feel that's a big problem for me, because once I'm free with someone, and at the end of the day, you just tend to switch up everything, and that's it. I'll start from the beginning again, looking for another person to,
Okay. Victoria would sort that out. I'm hoping so that you don't have a situation whereby your mentor is now asking you out. I do think that that's a value problem, and it's totally wrong. Osas, what do you think is a threat standing in your way of industry recognition or any form of recognition that you think will validate anything for you?
I would say, I can't remember the word, it's skipping me. But let me just explain it. Just feeling not, it's more related to, I'm sorry, the word is not coming right now. But I guess people feel that way too sometimes. You just feel your work is not good enough. And even when you're able to see how good it is and get results from it, it's just, that feeling of just
the inadequacies that you're struggling to communicate is also coming out in trying to communicate that, right? I see that saying imposter syndrome and a whole lot of other things, right?
Yes.
One thing I can tell you is around this is this, right? So everyone here that has answered so far seems to know the problem. But I think what is missing is accountability, being intentional, working at it, right? Because, hey, you acknowledge that I see my work, I've gotten results from it. And even when people validate it, you sort of still doubt it to a certain extent, right? So would also circle back either by question and really talk to that. Industry is a bit too rigid towards Africans. Okay. That can also be blamed on certain things, maybe structures that were not available. I mean, none of us will be having this conversation today if I said and the team didn't come around and think around, oh, okay, how can we have a community like this? It wasn't existent. And I think that while we also might want to blame the industry being rigid, we in the industry will also contribute to it. So it's great to hear what everyone is saying. And the last thing on questions we need to review is, and I would come back to you, Osas, and I'm not trying to pick on you. What values do you think you have that can help you through any of these threats or any of these things that you feel that you want that you can achieve? What value do you currently have now that you think that can be that launch pad, that building block for you to now move towards what you want to do?
So I'm sorry, I'm unable to answer this question because I feel like I just had a brain freeze because I have to, it feels like I have to present in front of a team and I'm not sure what to say.
Okay, all right, no problem. Alfred, do you have anything to say towards this? So for you, it's to switch the client side, right? So what values do you think from where you are now that you think that can be that launch pad for you to achieve this? Hi, Alfred. Hi, Alfred. If you're talking, you're still. Okay, I think we'll just probably move ahead. So thank you all for your responses to the questions that we have here, and we've answered them greatly. One thing I want to say is that our greatest superpower as individuals, as human beings, is the ability to change ourselves, right? And one thing I do believe about this quote is, I have seen it work for me. Anytime you feel there's any inadequacy with the way you find yourself struggling with placing value on yourself, your skills, or being able to have those tough conversations that lead to now you receiving an increase in salary or increase in how you're priced in the markets, right? You have that superpower already. One thing you need to do is, first of all, acknowledge it. And then when you do acknowledge it, you can move away from it. Moving forward, one thing I also want us to sort of step back a bit to think around is, I personally believe that if you don't identify where you are, if you don't identify what you currently have, you won't have the right information, you won't have the right data, you won't have the right examples of what you need to work at, right? So where you are now, what skills do you have? What achievements do you have? Like Kenny has pointed out, what are the things that you need to do differently? Some of the questions that we need to ask ourselves when doing this before we start really now having deep conversations around, so what value do I have? What value do I bring to the table? How valuable is my skill, right? I see this thing where people do, probably because every content marketer in a certain industry is earning a certain amount of money and they are going at it with that certain amount of money, but you're bringing more value, maybe because you know much, maybe because you've been in that niche a bit longer, and maybe because you're someone that has leadership skills and you've grown, and just anybody that has that same skill that you have, and then you see that people are underpricing themselves, undervaluing themselves, and that also begins to impact their self-worth and how they view themselves, right? Do you know what you have right now? It's a question you really need to sit down and ask yourself. Your skills, industry skills. A lot of us here are marketing people, and even if you're not a marketing people, in your industry, in your niche, what skills do you have? What are the hard skills that you have that are bankable skills? Away from bankable skills, and this might be for some of us that are now approaching where we're going into leadership roles, where maybe you're a content lead, you're a paid ad specialist, you're not just a social media manager, you're leading a team of 3 at maybe an agency or an organization. What leadership skills, what soft skills do you have? Are you able to collaborate? You see that people have worked in roles where they're just the generalists, they're everything, and they become a team lead. They find it so hard to hands off and just be the person that is providing direction, and then they are struggling. And then people that they are working with, people that they are guiding are beginning to feel that, oh, this person doesn't let me learn much, doesn't let me do much. We need to be able to identify, for us to be able to place value on ourselves, on our skills, and even be able to begin to now want to quantify what those skills mean for us. And, maybe coming to a performance review, or when a client reaches out to you to do a gig and you're saying, hey, this is what I am. Beginning with the questions, we talked about, what I have achieved, and all that. Sometimes what you have achieved is great, but if you're not able to contextualize it, if you're not able to make it context relevant for the client, for your employer, you might just be shooting shots and then you're missing out everywhere. Everything you've achieved, when you step back, Emmanuel talked about communicating that value. When you step back and you walk into an interview, yes, you did certain campaigns and you achieved X, Y, Z. To these new clients, what would that mean for them? Would that mean that even when you've done that and it did not succeed, would that mean to them that, I am coming with values, I am coming with experiences of success and of failures? Because if I have failed, I know that I have failed and I got this right, I fixed it. I know I am not going to make that mistake. That can just be one thing that would stand you out to now be able to demand more, to now be able to negotiate better. If you also identify where you are, what your soft skills are, what your hard skills are, you will be able to, be able to identify the gaps, know what the gaps, and be able to now be able to take the right initiative to close those gaps. You're no longer going to be doing trainings based on what everybody in the industry is doing. Everybody's developing themselves to be XYZ, but you are going another route because that is what is actually needed in your career. If you're already a great content marketing person, and maybe your next career lead is for you to be a team lead, for you to be in a leadership role, and you go ahead, you're forcing yourself to become maybe the best paid ads marketer. That is a great skill add to you. But maybe because of where your career needs to go next, what is most important is those leadership skills, is your ability to understand what is business acumen, what is all that. And that brings me to my next point. What do you add? So you've identified what it is that you have, you identify what the soft skills are, you've identified what is missing across your soft and hard skills. What do you add? If you are a specialist and you don't have, like I said, business acumen, you don't know how to collaborate, you don't know how to manage people, you don't know how to maybe manage stakeholders when you're working across teams. Maybe you're working on a project where there's product marketing, there's content team, there's engineering team, there's a business team that, if they want something, they want it now. They don't understand that there needs to be a product mapping, there needs to be a process, there needs to be testing, there needs to be market survey and all that before they just want it now. If you're not able to be someone that can collaborate and manage those people, if you get into that role, you're going to struggle. So identifying this thing before you now start to take career leaps, or before you now start to ask for more to be added onto you, means that you're already prepared going into that opportunity. Next question around where you are that you need to ask yourself is, what is actually valuable to my industry and my employer? What is valuable to where I am? In some cases, you see people in certain industries and in different markets, they are trying to be a specialist and the industry is demanding that they're generalists, right? Because companies cannot probably pay everyone to do every single thing. So if you're a social media manager, beyond just posting, you're expected to know content calendar. You're expected in some companies to know a bit of just paid ad for engagement, maybe not for lead generation. If you're a paid ad person, you're expected to know how to go out and talk to people. You're expected to know how to create your own content end to end. And if you're someone that you don't have this information, you don't know what skills that is valuable, you also, beyond skills, you don't know what on the job is value to your employer. So maybe you're driving growth and you're driving 1,000 sign-ups weekly, and all the employer is expecting is, I actually want not just 1,000. I actually want, if it's 500 people that are active and they are paid customers, out of a number of that is paid customers, that is what is value to your industry. Or you're not benchmarking to what the needs that the industry is demanding of you. You're benchmarking to what other people are saying. So because brand XYZ has ballooned their growth to XYZ, and you want to achieve that because it looks nice on paper. But to your employer, to the person, to the client that is going to hire you for that job and give you their money and trust you, is that thing of value. And also with the value that I mentioned this earlier, with the value that you currently have, how are you communicating it to fit into the value that the industry that is needing right now, and the employer actually would pay you to have you. I always believe that it's very, very important to define your ethos to guide your life, your career, your self-worth, your skills, calibration, so that you're not doing everything. We're in a world where there's so much noise, there's so much to get done. You don't have all the time in your life. Some people believe that life is short, some people believe that life is long, but whichever you believe, you don't have so much time to do everything. You just need to focus on the very minute little things that are high growth, so that if you do them well across your life, your career, your self-worth, and calibrating your skills, and then using that to demand more when it comes to salary, when it comes to money, when it comes to value from employers, from clients, you're able to get that out. So just checking in, I just want to make sure that everyone can still hear me.
Yes,
Hello.
we can.
Okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
We can
Okay.
hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much. So I'm going to tell you a bit of a short story before I move into what I really want to share today around what we're talking about. Now, in 2019, a senior colleague called Ore, I think he's still with the Ringia One Africa family, last I checked, reached out to me and said, hey, there's this guy I know that I think that, he's top, you need to speak to him and maybe share some of the things I've heard you share with him, see if that helps him, right? So he reached out to me, messaged me on WhatsApp to say, hey, already reached out to me to ask me to reach out to you. And we had a conversation, and I shared the same thing that I have done with my career. In 2014, I was depressed. I had no trajectory. I was just tired and felt that, I needed a change, right? I learned some things, did some research, and found out that digital comms was something that was beginning to boom. And for back then, it was just basically social media I started with. And I learned it, knew how to do it very well, and I started exploring what opportunities, which employer is going to give me my first opportunity. So I shared that with him, told him courses as at then that I felt that would give him a different trajectory. Just told him, you need to pay attention to just more than one place. You need to come in, because now in 2019, there's a lot more people, there's a lot more demand as well for people to do more. So you can't just come in knowing one things. And he went to work, right? He took everything I had said, started taking action, staying updated. I wasn't checking up on him. He was following up. August of that same year, this happened in May. We had this conversation on the 9th of May. If I open my WhatsApp, I can still share the screenshot. And I talked about him this week. I was like, okay, I would share your story. And I took permission from him. So he got his first internship in August of that same year, and he began that journey. Started a full-time job September later of the same year in brand and marketing communications in an agency. The pandemic struck, right? In life, these are some of the things that you can never plan for. You've done all your homework. You have all the self-value fixed. You're taking all the training. You're moving COVID hits and he loses the job, and we have the conversation and say, hey, don't worry, keep at it, something will come up. Today, he's now team lead at Raven and Maka, an international agency. And this is the story of Olajimi. From May 2019 till date that we had this conversation, Fola has increased his income by over 850%. The industry he was working at before he was working at a radio station. He was doing a lot of jingles, voiceovers, and a lot of fantastic stuff in the media. And I think he had worked at 2 different radio stations by then, but he was tired. It wasn't giving him the results he wanted. And the principles I'm going to be sharing today and just some of the principles I've seen that has worked for him, seeing him go through all that. There's nothing with Fola that was me. There was nothing with him. Everything that I shared with him was what I had done, was what I had seen work for a few people that had come in contact with me, and working at Jobberman, getting to share career insights and what people can try differently, and also researching and reading online and learning from a whole lot of other people I learned from closely and from afar. And this is what has happened to him. He ballooned his value. There's no way Fola would have been in Nigeria's radio industry and would have had this sort of increase, because everybody he was aspiring to be bigger than or aspiring to be in the same industry, even in the next 10 years, they're still going to be on some of those radio stations. They're still going to be the same big guys. So what you need to think about is, when looking to place value on yourself, your skill, and turning that into requesting for value in money periodically, one thing you need to go for is you need to go where it is always high growth, and you also need to avoid looking at careers where you want to do the bare minimum. Now, moving forward, these principles that I'm going to be sharing are not really going to be answering some questions, but there are things that I have seen that, regardless of whether you have inadequacies with yourself, regardless of if you and we can look at other questions that you have, right? But these things are things that I found that if you consistently do them, if you consistently work at them, if you consistently follow through, they would always bring before you the information you need to have to make any decision that you have across placing value in yourself, your skill, and then requesting periodic increase in that and monetary returns. Number one for me would be to follow the money. Now, this concept comes from a friend who presently she lives with her family in Canada. I reached out to her some time ago while I was working at Jobberman to say, hey, we're trying to have this event. Can you please come and speak to people as we're doing here today? I think it was via our Facebook channel. I can't remember where it was. And she said yes. And after the conversation and all that, we're having a different conversation. She said, Princewill, whatever you want to do, and she's a career consultant, whatever you want to do in your career, whatever you want to achieve, I see you're doing some amazing work. One advice I would give you for free is that you should follow the money. I said, follow the money. Does this mean that I would start being a money monger or everything is money? Because I see a lot of people do that and it doesn't get them the result. She said, no, take a step back, right? Think about your industry. You're working in a tech company as a den that is big across Africa. Ask yourself, where is the investment in HR going to? Where is the investment in consulting going to? Those are the things that you ask yourself. And when you ask yourself those questions, it will start telling you, okay, how do you develop yourself and your skill as a marketing person? Should you just know only marketing? Should you know things outside marketing that will impact you doing the work that you're doing in marketing? With following the money, one thing you will always do is focus where the industry, the job investments are high growth for your career moves, right? If you look at in the tech space, and this is also very true of my last career move, which I didn't plan, but one thing I have seen is that some of these things, once you have the principle fixed, the opportunity will come before you, and then you already aligned and you make that decision. There's a lot of investment in the tech space, in fintech and all that. But I noticed that when I wanted to change my career, leaving after having left workforce, worked at and wanted to move on, what I saw that there was a lot of investment in the tech space. But I zoomed a bit in and say, okay, in the tech space, where is investment going? And this is very true because if you look at this year alone in Africa and look at how much investment in short tech is attracting in the tech space, it's telling you something. There's been over the years a bit of focus in the tech finance industry that is just maybe banks and money focused. But there's a move away to insurance and other niches in tech, right? And when I got that opportunity, I was reached out and said, hey, would you like to do that? I was like, yes, hell yeah, let's move forward. Please, always, one thing you need to do with yourself when you're looking to place value on yourself, on your skills, and then turning that into money is you always need to go where the industry is going with the money. If Nigeria makes one law today that erases one thing and brings the opportunity as marketing people in a different niche, what you would likely find is there's going to be a lot of investment. So some of these things are also you need to pay attention to, not just in your industry what is happening, but what is the law saying in the industry. If Nigeria also makes a law today where it's just an industry and then you've already built a high growth career, it means that if you want to maybe stay in that industry, you might want to leave Nigeria, you might want to maybe move to South Africa, you might want to maybe move to Ghana. These are the things you need to pay attention. You always, before making any career move, any career decision, ask yourself, am I following the money? Am I following where the investment is? If you're developing yourself, recently we were trying to hire for some marketing roles, and I really zoomed in and looked at it. Paid marketing is something that is a bit scarce. You might find people, but the people that really know their onions in that space, they are not too many. Now, if we have a case in this our niche marketing, where people are coming into marketing and all they want to do is maybe they do social media, they are focusing on this thing. A lot of them, yes, they will find jobs, but the point where they can grow their earnings, let's say they start at 100,000, the point where they can grow their earning from 0.0 where they are entering into maybe 100, into maybe 1,000%, into maybe 850%, like Olajimi has done, will be a lot tougher if they go the route of saying, hey, I've zoomed out. Where are the jobs here? Where are the jobs scarce? Where are there a lot more demand from brands? So what couple of skills do I need to develop for me to go that way? So it's always important for you to ask that question and then follow the money. Also moving forward, we tell ourselves as individuals stories that hurt us. And I think this is also true of things that we've identified earlier from the conversations we have and the questions that we ask. People have said, oh, imposter syndrome, looking at validating your skills from the industry, maybe via awards and all that. That's a nice to have. It's very great that if you know that, okay, you want that sort of validation, you have to do certain things differently. So it means that what demand you're placing on being able to get that also needs to be different. For someone where it's maybe imposter syndrome, it might be a situation of other things, other traumas that you faced as a child, where you're having inadequacies with maybe valuing yourself, self-value and all that. And some of them also can be family. We all have gone through different things coming up to where we are. A lot of us are becoming aware because of information we have via social media that certain things were done wrong when we were raised. But after you know those things, how do you begin to change? How do you begin to flow through the area that will get you more results? You need to tell yourself the truth that, a lot of us from again, certain conversations I've had have issues with coming to conversations about money. We struggle with it. Even sometimes when we're requesting, when we're calling that big money, we're doing it at the back of our mind. Would they give me? Would they not give me? Is this really worth it? That self-doubt and all those trauma that you have in your past can contribute to you not being able to wholly place value on your skills and on yourself for you to be able to now demand better from your employers or people you're dealing with. Money is essential. It's one truth we need to tell ourselves. Don't shy away from conversations around it. It might be tough. If you're currently working for an employer and maybe you've been there for a year or two and you want to request for your salary, for a salary increase, how do you go about it? What are you going to do? How are you going to negotiate? If your strategy is you're just coming in and you feel that, oh, this area I'm coming in, they pay so low, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to give my best. I'm going to drive high value results, and I'm going to maybe move around jobs quickly over the next 3 years so that, again, that is one strategy, and I can build up my income and then get to a place where I have so much results, I've built up my income, and I can even demand higher income. Money is essential. Once we tell ourselves that truth, we can now also begin to bring value where we can demand that value for that money. If you notice here, what I have said is money is essential. Don't shy away from demanding money demanding it based on the value you've given. One of the things that we do wrongly, and I see this a lot with job interviews, where people come into job interviews and they've said all the fantastic things, and then they say a salary that is not realistic, right? It's not realistic to the value they have shown that they have. It's not realistic to the value the company can give them. If there's always a mismatch, you're going to go into interviews, crush it, and then walk away not being able to drive out value from there, missing out on a lot of opportunities. What you want to do is you want to be able to show your value matching with the value that you're bringing in. That is also why when you are on a job, let's say you're on a job where right now you're a senior marketing person and the next thing for you is a team leadership role. It's something that is a leadership role in an organization. You need to make sure that you're doing more than your present role is required of you, so that when the next employer is seeing you, they are going to be seeing trends and trajectories that prove that, oh, this person, if we bring them into this place, right, they can do more for us. They might not have everything, but they can do more for us. Now, moving forward, next thing I want to also talk about is follow who know road. And sorry if I'm using pidgin here. I grew up sometime in Port Harcourt, and sometimes my pidgin come true. But with following who know road is so important. Is being in communities like DigiClan. Are you, and a lot of us sometimes when we're communities where we're learning a lot, we're hiding. Are you really maximizing the relationships that you have in this community? Are you really looking at how people are growing? So you've been a senior marketing specialist, you're growing into a team leadership role. Do you reach out to people in this team and say, hey, please, I know you've done this. Can I book 30 minutes of your time? And please, one of the ways also to put value on yourself is to put value on people. You might reach out to Ladi, who I also see on this call, to say, hey, Ladi, please, I want you to help me do this. I know I might not be able to pay you, but this is what I can do, right? Ladi might also even accept to do it for you for free, right? But at the end of the day, when he's done, you put a value on what he's done for you. We must always be able to look at people that have done something that we've done, and they can handhold us. Having a laddie in your corner when you enter a team leadership role will ensure that anything that you're blindsided to, we don't always have all the answers. And I can tell you, as someone who also has made some of this mistake and also have had people help me correct it, you don't have all the answers. No matter what you've had in your previous role, having someone handhold you to in a scenario, it's better. I'll give you a personal example. I was interviewing for an e-commerce organization, and I got to the last stage and I didn't get the job. But prior to 2 stages prior to that stage, I remember that I had this childhood friend from when I stayed in Egbeda, Damola, fantastic guy, and he had worked with them. And I said, hey, Damola, you've worked at this company. Come now, I'm interviewing for them, please. Can you give me any insights? These are the challenges and things I feel that is coming through that I am having. What would you see? Damola sat me down and we had over an hour conversation saying, hey, this is what you're going to expect. This is what is going to come out. This is the way you're answering. This is not coming out. Tell me how you answer this. And I went back into an interview and got to a place where I had a conversation with the person that is their African lead. And it was something I saw that if I hadn't done that, if I hadn't stepped back to do that, yes, I didn't get the role, but having Damola in my corner helped equip me to a place where, I was able to do better during the process. Mentorship and networking is a great way to fix every inadequacy that you might have as a person with seeing your value in yourself. It can help you bring growth. It can also help you see opportunities and requesting our word from people. Now, I see something, and I see this with a lot of us in marketing on social media. Big example, someone that is big in the space that maybe you even have access to post on social media to say, hey, please, I want a content marketing that can help me do this job. And then you reach out, you tweet at them and say, hey, Adeyel, I can do this. So there's a reason why you are not top of mind for that person, especially when you have access to that person. And when I mean access here, it mustn't be you have their phone number. It mustn't be you have their private number. You have your social media, they have their social media. Maybe they don't follow you, but you follow them. If you've not been able to share your value across that social media that you have, for them to see that, okay, let me even look at this person. Even when you now make that request, if you don't immediately in their mind climb up to the top of the people that can do that thing, you are doing something wrong. A lot of us need to begin how we fix around, looking at those things. How we communicate our value across out there also is also really, really important for the people that probably we want to follow. And we see this also with people. You go and request for internship and mentorship from someone, but you're not also pushing your weight. How do you expect that person to really guide you through? You must always seek out mentorship opportunities, networking opportunities, because that's a way for you to have certain information that others don't have, and continually build that relationship. Don't just build a relationship, oh, you benefited from it right now, and then you exit. Because sometime later, it might be that person that will need you to do it for someone else, and that's how the community continues to grow and improve. Values and consistency is very, very key. One of the reasons why we struggle with the results sometimes is we've done it once and we're not constantly pushing at it always to be the person. What are the values driving you? Are you someone that you have integrity? I remember someone was sharing on in a space where they are having certain challenges with someone that is always lying. You're working remote and you want to be away because you want to do something and you lie about it. Where is your value system? One of the things that we do, and we think that a lot of people might not see, your team lead might not see, your company might not see, is it begins to condition you to be the person that would not see any fault in that thing. So even when you get to a point where you're being paid at a higher value, you're agreed to pay at a higher value, you're minusing your value eventually, because you get to a place where you no longer have an integrity quotient to come through when you say, oh, I am worth this thing, I have built up this thing, I have had so many achievements, I have these results. People will no longer believe you because your value system is different from what your results are showing. And that will also affect how you see yourself internally. Imposter syndrome will definitely set in, and you will definitely lack consistency. You must always seek to be accountable in communities where you are, in the place where you're supposed to be showing value, to be able to demand value. If someone expects 100 results from you, or they're even expecting something ridiculous, do you always say, shut it down and say, oh, this can't be done? Can you say, oh, okay, I get that we need to chase this, but I think that based on experience, based on certain data, this is what I think is possible. And then you have a conversation around that and still try and give extra, go ahead of yourself, be consistent and show up and achieve more than they want you to achieve. And if it does, you learn something. If it doesn't, they learn something. You always need to be a person of value, a person of consistency, and then build around that. One of the greatest things that we forget when we're discussing about seeing value in ourselves, seeing value in our skills, and then putting value on that, and being also able to request money from it is that we forget that your result is your negotiation power. If you're able to consistently be someone that would have results, if you walk into a room, you're likely going to be the person to have all things equal. Yes, there might be personal traits that might be affecting you, why you might not want to come to the table to say, hey, this is what I want to earn. And I'm sorry to say to all the ladies here, I see this with a lot of women when they get into interview rooms, they are trying to now undervalue themselves. But you also see the ones that they've had mentorship, they've built consistently, they've had networks where they've spoken to people in their circle, people outside their circle, to say, hey, what do you think my value around this thing would be? And they begin to understand that this is their result, this is their negotiation power, and they're able to carry on that value. Do you identify and track your career results? If I ask a question here as professionals, if I ask you off the top of your head, do you have all the data and everything you've achieved this year, all the mistakes that you have this year, do you have it written down somewhere? One thing for me as a practice is every year I open a Google Keep Note as I work to say, hey, this is something I am proud that has happened this year. Because at the end of the year, when probably you want to update your LinkedIn profile, you want to update your CV, you want to update your deck that you would share, you can forget those things. If you are not constantly tracking your career results, the results that you're bringing, and identifying them and knowing that, okay, this is the mistake I made here, this is the win I have here, and sometimes it's not always win. Sometimes it's good to share your failures and share what learnings you took away from there into something else and made success out of it. If you always know that your result is your negotiation power, you're able to function better at that level. Privately and publicly, please share your results. This will increase your social currency. I know that we live in a world where one of the things that I talk about this for people on LinkedIn, and I talk to them about sharing their results on LinkedIn, I get to hear is everybody is being fake, everybody is doing this, everybody is doing aspire to Maguire. You don't have to do that, right? You've achieved certain things. Your company has built a new app. You guys launched. There were certain conversations, there were certain challenges, but you went back, you tweaked it, and it got launched better, and there was traction. Share that. Focus on your career. Don't focus on how people are using a platform wrongly to now stop yourself from using that platform to build your social currency. In the story where I was telling you about, someone tweeted about, I need this, and you're tweeting, as I do this thing, or I can do this thing, whatever it is, I am the right person. The reason why that person might not have thought of you or someone else might not have suggested you, or many people might not have mentioned your name in rooms, is because you are not sharing your results. A lot of us here are doing fantastic and amazing work, but when we don't share our results enough in rooms, and sometimes publicly here is not also on social media, it is, you've done a fantastic job this quarter with your team, as a team lead, as a team member. You line it out to say, hey, and send to your team lead in an email to say, hey, this month or this quarter, we started as these are our numbers across the blog, these are our numbers across acquisition, this is what it is, these are the tests that we've done, and this is what we've learned. And you share that to that person. Those results that you're showing them, those things you're taking of them to show them, when it comes to rooms where they need to attest, it's easier for them to attest. It's easier for them not to deny you of that value. You've documented it. You've sent it to them. You've communicated it. When you're sharing insights in your company, when you're called upon to say, hey, what is really going on in your department? Do you know, especially as team members, some people are blinded to this as team members. If your business lead is not available right now and you're called in your company, do you know what he's doing? Is the reason you know what he's doing because he's not showing you, or because you're not asking enough questions? You're not asking to take away from him. If you take away certain things from him and have more results, you would have more results to prove in your career. You would have more learnings to make. And they also will be able to now, when you ask questions, to guide you through, because those things you're doing is also contributing not just to your results, not also just to their own negotiation power, but to yours as well. And that becomes a win-win for everybody on the team. You only get what you ask. I'm a Christian, and I always like to reference the Bible that says that, ask and it shall be given. Let's even take away religion from the Bible. If you think about that, so many centuries ago, someone taught around, and in whatever language it was written, and it translates to ask and you shall be given. And you are not asking. When you get into performance reviews, you're not asking. You just do, so you've had a performance review with your client, or you've delivered amazing results, above level results that your client was asking. You don't go back to say, hey, how can we rethink this contract? We've delivered value for you consistently on this, on this. This is what we feel is our what now. How do we, what gives, what do you give us to improve the value that we're bringing? Because if they pay you more, they know that you're going to step out of the way and do more. If you go into conversations in the rooms where performance this thing, and after the conversation, you've done well and all that, do you ask the question yourself? Because yes, I do agree that some companies can afford it, some companies are tricky, but do you ask the question is, what am I taking away from here? From this performance review? I feel that okay, it might not be monetary value, but it should be monetary value. But if it's not monetary value, can you ask of it in the place of training? If you don't ask, you don't get. If you don't have that conversation and they don't give you, and then all of a sudden you're leaving the company, they are now offering you the salary that company that you're moving to is offering you. You also maybe have contributed to that problem as well. And quickly rounding it up is, career audit and mapping is something that I feel that a lot of us don't do enough. Your career audit should always be as frequent as possible. Sometimes you look at it over a year. Sometimes you do it over a period of years. Sometimes you do it in the trajectory that you want to go. So you pinpoint that, right now I am an analyst. I want to be an executive at this point. What do you need to do to achieve being an executive? How many hours do you need to give extra? And one thing we always need to have at the back of our mind with being valuable seeking value in ourselves, putting value on our skills, then demanding money for it is, you cannot do the bare minimum. You cannot do the team lead that comes in and you don't want to do extra. You cannot be the person on that team that cannot help your manager do extra. You cannot be the person that is a freelancer working for a client and you will not go above level the results that you're giving. Yes, you've done the design. Yes, you've written the content. What else are you doing differently with that content that will stand you out from that brand that you're giving value? What else are you going to give them in your time that will stand you out, so that when you turn around and say, hey, I have come this far, this is the things I have done, and this is the value I want to demand. It's easy for you to have that conversations. In most cases, you will not get exactly what you're demanding. Sometimes you get above it, sometimes you get below it. But again, like we said, if you don't ask, you will not get. And if you don't have a career audit, if you don't do a career audit to help you map your career, it will be tough for you. At the end of this conversation, when this slide is shared with some of us, if you look at some of the links I have linked in the content, you would see, some of the questions when you're looking at developing smart career goals for yourself that are measurable, achievable, relevant, and really time bound. It has to be time bound. You need to know, if I want to do a storytelling training, if I want to test my storytelling skills and kill it and become above level content marketer, what do I need to do? You need to put it to a period of time, and you need to now say, okay, when do I need to start testing this? What results am I taking from this? You would see some of those questions in that article as well. Lastly, I would like to say, invest in your skills yourself, and invest your money. Sometimes when we have conversations around, oh, how do I earn more? How do I put more money, add more money on my skills? How do I place more value on myself? When we start earning those skills, money that we now look forward to, it might be the 400,000, 500,000, 600,000, 1 million of this world, we forget that we need to also go back to the place and invest some of them as savings, invest some of them as in your career, invest some of them in your brand, right? Because that is also what will be the launch pad to head you onto the next level that you want to achieve. So please, whatever it is that you're seeking, don't forget that things don't change unless you do. And that would be my piece. And let's hop into the questions and then share with each other. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Princewill, thank you very, very much. It was a very, very, very insightful session. So there are a number of questions that people dropped in the form. So maybe we can take that first, and then we have the general questions. I don't know if that's fine with you, Princewill.
Yes, totally. Thank you so much. That's fine.
Yeah, though you've answered a number of the questions while you were speaking, but maybe you could just, for emphasis sake, just so the first question here is, how do I reduce imposter syndrome?
Okay, thank you so much. I am not a therapist or anything, but one thing I did also for myself is, you need to have people that you trust, right? Again, the thing around therapy and all that is changing a bit in Nigeria and Africa, but 5-6 years down the line ago, that wasn't the case. So what did I do? I made sure I had people around me that I can trust. I have a very great relationship with my mom, so she's someone that I can run to and have certain conversations. She also might be blindsided to some things, but you need to have people that you trust that don't judge you. Some of them will be very close niche. Some of them will not be close niche. Sometimes they will judge you, but you need to call them out on it in that your circle and help them understand why what they're doing is wrong, right? So you need to have people that you're able to open up and say, this is the problem I have, right? Now, you also need to go back to yourself, to your history. What is it that is driving this thing? What were you told when you were young? What was the consistent narrative that you've been told and said, oh, maybe you can't do this. You can't do this because you're not this. You can't do this because you don't have this. I currently, some time ago, worked with a graphic designer. He's a very creative and talented guy. And his imposter syndrome was if you tell him, guy, do this thing, yeah, be creative and everything, just this is the idea I would have, he would go and do it exactly the way you requested it. And then I will come and be like, you're this creative person. What is going on? Like, talk to me. What is going on? That struggle went on for a couple of months, and we sat in a meeting someday, I and him alone. I say, I see that there's a problem here. What is going on with you? Why is it that you have this astronomical scale, but whenever you're delivering, you deliver so far? What is going on? He took a deep sigh. He took him. I say, see, trust me. I kept saying, see, trust me. Talk to me. What is going on? Something is wrong here. He said, okay, that to be honest, the last 2 places that he has worked, he's worked with people that, if you do something, say you're creative, they will shut it down. They'll say, oh, we gave you something to do and you've gone and done it. The thing might be better. He might even carry the thing and go and share it to some of his industry friends, to some of his colleagues at work. And they say, why didn't the company go with this old design? He said there was a time when the CEO of the company saw an old design that he did. He said, why didn't you choose this? Why was this? So he had carried that trauma into a new job. You need to make sure that, you're not carrying the trauma of what has been done to you across. It's a huge baggage. Sometimes you need to get help. You need to reach out to other people. Sometimes you need to see a therapist if you can afford it. But one thing you need to practice is you need to start practicing self-awareness. You need to understand that it's okay. Whatever people have said to you on your past job, from your past life, and sometimes it might be our family, it might be our parents, it's okay. They did not know better. But it's now on you to start, and I tell you that once you start looking for, there are a gazillion of resources out there for you to start mitigating and beating that imposter syndrome. One of the things I will say here is that, I see the result. I've seen the result for myself. I can do this thing. I can learn this thing. I can improve at this thing. But still, I have that inadequacy where I am doubting myself. You need to tell yourself that, it's okay. It's okay for other people to doubt you. It's okay for us to be criticized. It's okay for us to be told that, our work is not, it's subpar, it's not level. It's not an attack on us. It's just work. Tomorrow you learn something else and you improve at it and you're good at it. We need to be people that know how to take criticism and not make it about ourselves, right? I also do understand that sometimes people need to improve how they critique other people. But one thing you need to know that, like I said, you can only change yourself. It's only you that you can change. So what you need to know that if someone is saying something in a certain way that doesn't resonate good reviews, that doesn't sit well with you, tell yourself it's okay. This is not about me. It's a lot about them. That's how they see themselves. Take the criticism, learn from it, learn what you need to change, learn what you don't need to change, and improve. What I can also tell you is look online. You might need to take some certain surveys and look at, what is it where I have my inadequacies? Is it that, I am really not enough? Because sometimes what we call imposter syndrome is also truly that our skill is not leveling up. What do you need to do to level it up? But if you have leveled up your skills and you continue to doubt yourself, something is wrong. You need to start practicing self-love. There are a couple of authors I know, and some of them you can find across YouTube. Some of them are across different religions, from the Hindu religion. You need to practice a lot of self-love. You need to listen to there's also a lot of podcast resources on this where you go in deep dive and hear people's stories, hear what they've changed. There's a whole lot of resources. What I want you to do is acknowledge that this thing is okay. It's not about yourself. Start asking yourself, what are the incremental progress that I need to do? What things do I need to do? So you need to start showing up more. The more you're criticized, don't fall back. The more someone shuts down your idea, don't stop sharing ideas because of it. Just take it. The ones you share something and it is a wrong thing, just so that that thing is a wrong thing, I'm not going to share it again. It's something. Do I optimize it and then share it? Take lessons that would help you improve. Don't take lessons and shut down yourself, shut down your personal growth because you have certain inadequacies. One thing I can tell you is that at different level, for someone at my level, imposter syndrome might look at a different thing. And I have said earlier, we have the power to change ourselves. And let me tell you a true story. When I decided to leave the job that I was at last year and decided, you know what, I'm tired of this. I I took a step back and figured out that I need to change my self-image. That was if you've known me before, I've never dyed my hair. I've never or almost done dreads since probably university days. But that was one of the reasons I went and dyed my hair, because I saw that when I did that, for me, fine, it was acceptable in places where I was. For someone, it might be a different thing. For someone, it might be for them to cut their hair different style. For someone, it might be for them to go to the gym and build muscles. For someone, it might be for them to take a new course. For someone, it might be for them to reach out to a consultant or someone to help them through that journey. You need to know that you can change your self-image so that when you look at self again in the mirror, you're seeing someone different. You know that, this person, you can do this. You've done this before. You've achieved this before. There are little tricks. It might be how we brand ourselves. It might be, you've been identified as a social media manager. You say, you know what, today I'm done with social media management. This is who I want to become. And you move on with it. You put it out there. As you learn and as you grow, you are allowed to be so many things. There's so many resources out there, again, I would say, and you are allowed to be so many things. Stop boxing yourself in what people think that you are. Stop boxing yourself in what the traumas that are valid. I'm not invalidating your trauma that you went through. Acknowledge them, but tell yourself that you are more than that and begin to walk in that light. For anyone that needs any other thing around this here, you can reach out to me privately in Twitter DM, and I can look at my YouTube or something and I share certain videos that I've worked before around as well.
I'm very fine, sir. I'm okay.
So I was just thinking, I thought that at one point, whenever I came back to me saying that it doesn't see.
Okay, so
Okay,
I guess
thank you.
someone's mic was.
Yeah, so the next.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, I've muted the person. Yeah, so the next question is, how do I maximize my career? It is a very broad question, but
yes, how do you maximize your career? So again, I think whoever this is, we can go into probably a deep dive personally what this means for you. But how do you maximize your career? Again, I've shared something around following the money, right? Where is your investment in the industry or in the country or in the sector that you are? Where is the investment going, right? What are your learnings so far? Who do you need to meet to validate that? What areas do you need to develop yourself? But one of the ultimate ways to maximize your career is to have personal value so that you're not doing everything, and also be a consistent person. Be someone that you're not looking to do with the bare minimum. You can never be great by doing the bare minimum. You can never be great by doing what everyone does at your company on the job. You can never be the person that is not taking so much on your plate, right? And that is some of the things that you need to do off the top of my head that you can maximize your career. You need to build your social currency. Look across your social media. Who are you out there? I remember Isaac shared with us a couple of years ago. I never forget that. I think it was a tweet or a post she wrote, and she shared it, how she used to answer something else on social media, and she figured out, you know what? My name needs to be known for the amazing work that I am. And she changed her name everywhere and began putting that forward. And I don't think you can mention top people in this industry who you can validate that they know their stuff. They can stand behind their stuff and they know it. If she probably hadn't done that, she would probably be hiding behind a social media handle, doing amazing work, crushing great things for so many people and so many organizations. But when you come on there, it's not believable. You don't see it. So we need to be a bit more intentional if you want to maximize your career, to also build a brand. Yes, it's good to know so many things, but are you showing those things that you know? So whoever this is for, we can really go into a deep dive to look at what in particular that means for you, and then we can come up probably with a list that works for you, and then you can start executing on that as well. Thank you.
yeah. So the next question is there a learning structure for someone interested in growth marketing?
So, hey, you want to put me in trouble. A learning structure for someone interested in growth marketing. Yeah, there is. What I would say is that if you're coming to growth right now, you might already be late. But again, it might be okay. Maybe you're looking at growth marketing in a different sector. But what you need to do is you need to have a balance of understanding data. You need to have a balance of being someone that is that is a T-shaped marketer. Basically, you need to know a lot about marketing, whether it's products, whether it's content, whether it's community, whether it's paid. In some cases, again, depend on what organization that you're working at. You might be the person doing everything. In some cases, you won't be the person doing everything. But having that understanding, that hands-on understanding to be able to handle and do all these things will change the game for you. Because now, if you're working with the product team to say, hey, this is the initiatives I'm driving, these are the numbers I'm expecting. You know what, whether it's a paid ad person, whether it's a community person, whether it's maybe you're also maybe going to use field sales or traditional engagement tactics and all that, right? You need to be able to have all that. So some of them, again, you might need to reach out to people who have done growth in the spaces that you are, or people that have done growth again in Nigeria, in a country like Nigeria. It's still something that is growing. There's a buzz around it right now, but it's still something that is growing. So for certain niches, you won't find people that have done it in those niches. But one of the things that I found out is you need to be a T-shaped marketer, which includes everything around analytics. You need to also have business acumen. You need to just know beyond marketing. What are the sales team talking about? What are people doing out there? Sometimes it will require you to even be a BD person, being a marketing person. As marketers, I've also noticed that when I have conversations like this with our community, some of us struggle with also, selling ourselves, right? You need to be great at not just marketing. You need to be great at selling as well. Those are the learning parts that I would say that, you want to look at. But, and I know Bukayo would also, I don't know if he's there, but would validate this anyway. One place I know that has really great trainings, which also I've benefited from also in different areas is CXL. They have really great trainings for that part and all that. But some of the things with growth marketing, you would learn on the job. You would learn in your niche. But again, if you're someone that you have the right values, if you're someone that you are consistent, if you're someone that you want to be dependable, if you're someone that integrity is your thing, you would always be able to ask yourself the right question and continue to push, continue to tweak, and continue to improve the processes that is going to drive growth for your employer or for your clients in whatever niche that you're going to find yourself. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So the next question is, how do you place value on your skill sets?
So, how do you place value on your skill set is a multiple of things that you can do. So in a country like Nigeria, Joberman used to have this tool. I think they don't. I don't think they still have it. That where you go in, you put in your industry, you put in what is close to the job role, and you can generate averagely what the salary is. That data comes from the demands people put on the jobs they are posting on their platform, and averagely you have an idea to say, hey, if I'm a growth marketer in a fintech startup. Maybe I need to be earning XYZ, right? So that's one way, looking at what the industry data is, right? Another way is looking at your network. One or two or three persons that are working around certain industries, can you reach out to them and say, hey, if I want to take on a role like you, what would you advise me to do? LinkedIn is a good place to do that. I have also done it a couple of times. Some people will respond. Nigerians and, some of us like to hide things. Some people will respond, some people will not respond. That's one way to validate it. I think one of the other very important and key way to validate it is the value you have, the value you've provided before, and the value you're going to give this person, right? So let me give an example. If I and say Samuel come into the room, same experience, 5 years experience, a HR company is trying to hire a team lead for maybe a growth role or setting role, and say we're both T-shaped marketers, but Samuel has more experience than me around, like Samuel can sit on a panel and speak to HR people, have conversations with HR people, understand why if a HR person is behaving in a certain way, is creating certain programs around the company will be losing money, but not maximizing efficiency in performance planning for their employees, Samuel is likely going to get hired more than me. Now, Samuel will be making a mistake by saying, so let's say both of us, what we can demand at that level is 500,000, right? Samuel will be making a mistake going into that room to negotiate for 500,000. He already has something that displaces me. Samuel also has something that stands me out. Samuel can decide to say, you know what? It's 600,000 I will take, it's 580,000, it's 950,000, whatever that value means to Samuel. Now, the employer would see these people and say, hey, both of you, we have people in this industry, and a lot of employers do this. Everybody is a social media manager, everybody is a committee. What is different about you? What is different about Samuel is Samuel will easier have conversations that will lead to conversion higher than I can have, because he understands the thinking in the head of a CEO at a company that is having challenges hiring people. He understands the challenges that a HR manager is facing, having challenges. So when he's building growth, when he's building certain growth experiments for that CEO, for that HR manager to be able to maybe advertise the job on their platform, to be able to sign up on their platform, to be able to do massive graduate recruitment for them, Samuel understands that he needs to build that experiment in a way that Princewill cannot build. Samuel should be able to demand value from that organization. That now a lot of companies will say, oh, Samuel is demanding more, they go with Princewill at a lower value. That's fine. Princewill will never be able to deliver more what Samuel would deliver, and that means that, you know, Samuel probably needs to keep proving his value till he gets to a place where someone sees his value and he can earn incrementally. Your value and placing a worth on your skills will come from what results that you have. Your personality and your personal branding, social currency will also go into that. How you communicate it will also go into that. You can't come into a room and you're requesting 500,000, 600,000, or even 1 million, and you're fidgeting. You're saying, I don't know, maybe. Some people come into interviews where when I help founders interview marketing people, some people come into rooms and they say, hey, but you people have a budget for this show now. We would like to hear that, and then we can move. And the person says, no, we don't have any. It's what you're going to tell us. That's what we're going to determine. And the person is blank, and you're now hearing someone that has experience probably demand 300,000. So they say, okay, I will take 200. I will take 150. Nothing lower than that. And you're wondering in your head, okay, what is going on with this person? What is wrong with this person? So those are some of the things off the top of my head that I can say can help you optimize for your value around demanding the right value for yourself in any situation. For a freelancer, for an agency person, a consultant, that might be different. But at the end of the day, what you need to be communicating is what really stands you out around this people. If I give you my agency job, is it how you also take an extra mile to put your passion and your stamp on it that will stand you out? Is it the personal branding you built in the community? I am, as an industry, trying to market myself to people in that industry that will stand you out to demand more as an agency, to demand more as a freelancer. Those are some of the things that you can look around your skill set, look around putting more value on your skills, and then making the best out of it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. So the next one here is, how do I manage upskilling?
Okay. The short answer is your career mapping is how you manage upskilling. Those SMART goals that you're going to identify and have and write them down. You're going to say, okay, at this point in time, this course, I must have finished it. Again, sometimes accountability might need to come in. Accountability, if you're someone that is dating, you're married, might be your partner, it might be people in your community, like DigiClan, to say, hey, is there anybody having learning across this path? I'm trying to finish mine in the next 2 months, and I need someone to hold me accountable and also be accountable to them. Anybody game for this? And you create probably a WhatsApp group or something, and every day you share a screenshot to say, hey, today I put in my one-on-one that I agreed. I hope you've done yours. If they did not, drag them. In fact, some of the dragging at times, bring it to social media or something. That accountability can help you pull through, because in the past, I've been someone that I had a full Udemy subscription for 1 year, and at the end of the year, I didn't do any course. There was a time it was the company that paid for the Udemy course, and I didn't have it. I was like, nah, this needs to change. So those are some of the things I did that helped me take that. Another way also to learn around it is learn around the paths that you're also going, or the demands that you have. So if you've taken a new job, I've given an example where maybe Laddie's hand holding you just to guide you on that team leadership role that you just, and conversations with Laddie, you identify that, oh, I don't have certain leadership skills. It might be time to take a step back and find a leadership skill, and after you take it, you say, for the metrics that I'm going to hold on to myself to say, to know how I'm improving at this skill is, to be person that is this. And every week, you step back, take 30 minutes and look at what you've done all through the week, and then you identify them and improve them. And also doing some of these things will put it will put interest in your career. It will make one thing I do is, for me, I do these sort of things on Sunday, where every Sunday I take a step back and say, hey, what have I done this week? What can I improve on? What was from our team leadership meeting that I didn't accomplish? Is this something I can crush immediately, or push it forward to the week? So you need to find a way to track your growth and track your learnings that you need to improve your career across different things. Sometimes it might be this period, these 3 months, I must finish these courses, and I do it. Sometimes it's as I go, I identify where the inefficiency or inadequacies are. I start to learn. Sometime ago for me, it was I was struggling with a bit of storytelling on a project. I went back into my CXL account and I had to do that course, read a couple of articles, watch a couple of YouTube, listen to a couple of 30 minutes, 20 minutes podcasts every time I'm going to work on Google Podcasts. And, I got insights to help me through that project. So those are some of the things I would say that you can also adapt and adopt to your own growth that can help you as well. And lastly, will be the thing we talked about, following the money, right? Once you identify industry is going this space, after we've said, okay, growth marketing is buzzing in Nigeria, right? After growth, where would the demand of the industry be, even in our niche in marketing? What is it that will be something that every company now in the next 5 years must pay to do, right? If you identify it earlier, you start talking about it earlier, you're going to be one of the first people that will be able to generate value, monetary and all sorts of value, relationships, and building your personal brand forward as well from it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. So the next one here is, how can one grow exponentially as a content marketer?
Do more work. Follow IZ. I think she's the more content marketing queen of Nigeria. But really, if you want to grow exponentially, you have to do so much more. You have to demand more from yourself. You need to also have more than just the marketing knowledge of content marketing. So let me give you an example. I worked in a consulting company some time ago, and one of the challenges that we had as content marketers was there was a claim in the organization that said that what we're writing will not resonate with a CEO, right? They won't read it and be convinced to go on that customer value journey with the organization. We're like, So we could have fought it, we could have argued. You know what? We scheduled a meeting, say, hey, let's have a meeting. We had a meeting with the business leads. There were like 10 of them. We say, you know what? These are the topics that these people that we're targeting are searching for. This is the timeline we expect you to write this article or write this content, produce this PDF or whatever. If you need our help, we will come in and help you. But when you do it, we will now change it into content marketing pieces that these people can consume. There was a fight back and forth and all that. Some of them did it, and I can tell you that the people that did it, that took that initiative, some of them found ways to do it that if you wrote the article, they will come in, revamp it, change it. You now do your updates or whatever, and then so for you to be that person, you need to understand every insight around what you're sharing. You need to have more than a bird's eye view. People need to come into reading your article and take away things and say, oh, this person, there's something here. If you are the content marketing person and you start working in fintech, if someone looks at it, can they tell that you're just a newbie, or that this person has done research and doesn't sound like someone that is not even a financial professional or have a financial background? You need to read a lot more. If you're asking that question in a place of also monetary value, you need to know beyond content marketing, because that also would impact how you're writing the content. If I write the content and it's going to go out in email, how would that my topic of the content, how would that the headline, how would the intro impact it in the email? How would it impact it? Someone seeing it on social media? What kind of images would I work with the designer? So you need to know just beyond content writing. When probably your blog is a certain way, what optimization can you work with your team to optimize it that can improve people visiting it? What analytics are you using? Data. What things are you writing and people are reading more? What is the tone in that writing? What is the tone in this one that seems like it's what is not working, or what is resonating with this audience bucket, and then these different audience buckets, this is resonating with them. You need to test different channels, right? One channel might not be, oh, you're just a good copywriter. Can your copywriting also fit into social? Can it fit into email? You need to just know more than one channel. I also think it's very important that you need to have someone that has done it, that can handhold you and push you through. Lastly, if you're asking that question from a place of the monetary value, one thing you need to do once you're good, you need to move across career, especially if you're in Nigeria. You need to move very fast, right? Don't stay at any job for 3 years. A lot of people might not agree with this, but if it's because of money you're asking it, you need to move as quick as possible. It doesn't mean you need to dampen or burn relationships with your past employer, with all that, but you need to move across as possible. That would help you grow the money, and then be in a place where you're now doing a lot more. But as you grow as a content marketer, a lot more from the business side also, you need to understand it, and that can really help you see things better and then deliver more value to your client or your employer or whoever your writing is targeting.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, there's one more here. It says, how can a person know when to switch careers?
Okay, so it will be different things for different people. It will be, if you're actively following the money, it will be where the industry is going. I tell all the young people I meet right now, if you are finishing school and you're going to become a customer service, there's no need to stop wasting your time. There's no need. There's no career growth there. And some people can tell me that, but someone is earning social amounts, they're working in social companies. You will do more a lot being something else in 3-5 years, moving to a different career than just finishing and just going into customer service. If it's also that, that's your entry into the workplace and you want to do it 6 months and then move across different things, that's fine. But you can't just come in and then move into that. So following the money is one way to know that, okay, there's no investment here. There's not a lot of career growth. Anybody working in the banking sector and that is just working to be a teller, you're wasting your time, right? There's no investment there. I mean, look at how fintech is disrupting that space. Look at what the numbers people are doing without having any front teller, anything. You need to grow elsewhere, right? So there's a lot of examples around, following the money, but there's also a lot of examples around yourself. How do you feel where you are? I was posting a tweet some couple of days ago, and I was talking about I don't believe in passion. You don't need to have passion to do certain things. What you need to be is passion can find you. If you have it, it's fantastic to have it. But all those spurs of motivation that just help you push, and then you lose it. You don't want to be that person. You want to be the person that is putting in 1% extra, 2% extra, 3%, 10%, whatever that means for you every day, for you to grow incrementally. So if you've come to a place where there's a brick wall, you've hit a brick wall, you can't move forward again in that career and all that, it's time to move. If you come to a place where you're depressed, right, it might be that you're not having a lot of challenges, or you're being undervalued. It might be that you need to take yourself also away from there. Maybe not from the career, it might be from the job, it might be from the organization, and all. What you want to look at is also, where is the world going? It's part of following the money as well, but where is the world going? What are your goals in life as a person? If my goal is to have all the money in this career, I probably won't be doing marketing. To be honest, yes, I'm making money in marketing to a certain extent that I was making it prior to 2015 and all that, right? But if that is your goal, marketing might not be the career, right? If you also look at, sometimes people do say, oh, tech, let's move to tech. Yes, everybody should understand coding if they can, have some form of coding skills. But if you want to move to tech, is it really coding that is for you? Is it data analytics? If it's not data analytics, is it product design? There's a lot of fantastic product designers right now in our space. 1 year, 2 years experience, still looking for their first job and everything to move them forward, right? If you're probably going into that space right now, except there's something standing you out, right? It might be a struggle for you. So you need to also step back and look at where is it going. I've also recently noticed that there is a growth and demand across Africa for people that would work in VCs, right? People that would drive partnerships and look at startups. Does this startup have this and that? And there's no formal school learning around that. So you can also look at an industry and say, there's no formal school learning around this. But what do I need to do? Anyone that has successfully built a career in any Bitcoin company today, in any cryptocurrency related company, can tell you that all they know is because they read white papers across different organizations, their niches, across different cryptocurrencies, their use case, across different research that was published on cryptocurrency. And then they begin to form a mindset, they begin to form an opinion, and their opinion begins to look like, oh, this person has something here, they can actually do this. And every other thing they have learned, maybe across finance, across marketing, across products and all that, can now help them be that person that will go into that space and deliver value. So it can be different things. There can be different things. It can be you moving away from Nigeria to say, hey, I'm going to America and it's time to now change career to something. Maybe because of, I don't have this, maybe I've worked in marketing for a while. I don't have probably the certifications that is demanded in this country I'm moving to. I need to change careers and then probably grow my certifications and then pivot back to marketing. It might be, oh, I have worked so much as X and Z in this space, but as I am moving into this other company, which is in a different field and all that, there might be a different demand on my skills. There might be different things, and I need to change my career to be able to meet those demands. Sometimes it might be you are working in a space where they started sacking people too many in that particular role. It begins to look like there's not enough people needed in that role. Please change your career. Sometimes it's that the course you studied out of university, and I tell people this a lot, whatever you studied in a Nigerian university should not determine, please, what you want to do in life. Circle back and really look at it. Is it really worth it? This might be different for probably engineering and medical students, right? Across Nigerian institutions. But if you study any of these other courses, I studied linguistics and communication studies. If you studied biology, if you studied biochemistry, if you studied even with accounting, you still need to do so many courses and all that. Different courses, business admin, all those things. Study any of those things, and then you feel that if I come out of school, I want to come become a business admin. How? From where to where, and maybe you have a different goal, and the business admin will not drive you to that goal. It might just be time. Finally, the one I would say is money. If the money you want, the kind of money you want, in your bank account every time you look at it. It might take you 2 years, it might take you 1 year, it might take you 3 years to achieve that. It's the reason, it's a valid reason, right, for you to make that change. And that would be my answer to that. Thank you. Hello. Okay, I think Misaya is not yet, he's muted, he's not yet speaking. So maybe if any other person has any, if you have any question, you can ask, and then we can react to that, probably start rounding for when his network gets better. Thank you.
I just want to make a comment. Typically, I don't know, I have very short attention spans these days. Usually on spaces for no longer than 30 to 45 minutes. But this has been so enthralling and really, really interesting that I had to bring out my notepad and I started writing tips and all of this. And I'm grateful for everything that you've done, said, and the way you've used storytelling to wrap up your answers. I don't know if it's time for feedback. I'm just saying thank you very much. It's been really, 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 really interesting and educating. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Isaac. Really appreciate the feedback. Means so much. Thank you so much.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Manzel. Yeah. Thank you, Princewill. I guess Benjamin is having network issues, right? So I think we've come to the end of the. I don't think there's any other question. I was trying to check through the chat. I'm not sure we have any other question left. So, or is anyone missing? I don't think
Someone is
so.
saying, why are brands not leveraging SEO in Nigeria?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Gideon, I would say is the marketing people they have access to, they've not proven to them the value of SEO. We still need to understand that digital is, our people struggle with understanding the value of digital. In fact, we all need to thank the tech space. And I think it's been one of the easier ways for us to validate what we do in this country as professionals. It would have been a lot tougher to see someone in our space earning probably 500K, doing amazing stuff, being able to take care of themselves from this role if we just had the traditional mentality alone existing in Nigeria. For the business leads and all. If you speak to anybody that is on the agency side of things, when they are working with traditional companies, they can tell you the nightmare they go through trying to validate certain things. It's getting better. So I just see that they don't value that. I see that SEO is also sort of a long-term play and people don't want to invest in it. But I think that if you're an organization and what you're building is long-term, what you're building, you want to be a leader in your space. I don't think SEO is something that you're going to not value. But I think that more professionals needs to start communicating the value of it. More professionals needs to start showing the value of it. And then I feel that there will be more huge investment around SEO, because I know SEO agencies in some places like the UK and Germany that it's just SEO they do, and their money, if they tell you their money, they will charge you for 30 minutes or 1 hour consultation. You begin to think that what am I doing in this country? Why is this happening? But yeah, that's why. So again, that's also a pointer for you. Maybe if you're the best SEO specialist in Nigeria, it might be time to start saying, okay, how do I pivot to get international clients? What conversations do I need to start having across my social media, across my LinkedIn? What communities on LinkedIn do I need to enter to find people that I can provide this service on? And I think that as Nigerians, to be honest, we have a certain advantage, right? And let me tell you that advantage. So in our industry, someone might say, they are paying you for a role, they are paying you $500, right? Abroad, for that same role, a client probably, let's even not say a role, let's say it's a gig, a client's probably paying $5,000 dollars to the person that will deliver that to them. And then you go in to say, not to underprice yourself, to say, hey, I can deliver this value to you. Don't underprice yourself. What you want to do is you want to show them that you can deliver value, if not better value than the person in their country. And then probably the first one, you give it at a discount, right? And then charge what you feel is valuable to you. I think that gives us even an edge. I know someone that has done it in Kenya. Today he lives, I think, in Holland or somewhere. I know someone that he's not a marketing person. He's done it as a software developer in Nigeria. Today also he lives abroad. In fact, in his case, his employer that he was doing a gig for was a person that said, oh, you know what, I'm going to handle everything with your process and we'll move you abroad. So I think that, it's also an opportunity, while it's a challenge for us in Nigeria, if you're really good at SEO, if it gives you that opportunity to say this. I've been interested in SEO, Ginikachi, in SEO for the longest time. How do I start putting my passion to practice? Ginika, please forget passion. What I would say is look at courses that you can do around SEO and start practicing. Then find someone that SEO is their major and main focus, right? Let them handhold you into all you need to do and know tools, courses, and know that. Be willing to invest in yourself. It takes time also to learn. It's not one of those strategies that you just go in and you learn everything. There's so many things around it, and I can tell you that it's a high value and high growth scale. Maybe not in Nigeria, outside Nigeria, definitely. Thank you. William, excellent. I see your hand is raised. Please go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, William.
Okay, so this is a kind of funny question, but I want to ask you, how do you, like, for example, I have a client that is working, that is outside the country. It's also in Nigeria, but I've been there for long. So how do you ask your clients to refer you to other jobs? Like, that's basically my question. How do you ask? Is there a way to position yourself so that you can ask your client, yeah, say, okay, if you have other people there that need this and this, or will it just come naturally? Because the human factor, we don't, you have to. So basically, that's my question. How do you position yourself, or how do you position the question to ask your clients that, please,
Yeah.
give me other gigs?
Okay.
Yeah, especially one for outside Nigeria.
Okay, I see
Thank you.
Izet's hand raised. I think she will
Yeah.
react to this.
Yeah, I would really like to react to this. I mean, I know that whatever you have to add will be awesome. Can you mute your mic, the person that asked the question? There's like kids background. Okay, thank you so much. Oh no, he's not got done yet. Thank you. So what we do is the best part is if you do a good job, if you do a really good job, there's no way people will ask your number one. People will always ask your clients, who is doing this for you and how who is handling your marketing for you, or who is handling this particular job for you, and so they will be compelled somewhat to introduce you. That has happened to us a couple of times. So right now we are at a place where a lot of our clients are referrals from, or people who've seen some sort of our conversations that we have online on social media, or referrals from other people, or when somebody puts who is the best something for startups, you see somebody will mention our name and then they'll come to us. So a huge percentage of our clients are actually referrals from other clients. And so our strategy is to ensure that our customer service is awesome. Not just the job is not that the job is good, but that the customer service, the follow-up, the communication, the rapport with whoever is managing is awesome, so that at the end of the day they're either chipping it, especially when the client says thank you. So how apps get a lot, fintech apps or banking apps get a lot more positive reviews on salary days. I don't know if you guys know this. Towards salary days, when you're using like a banking app or a fintech app and somebody has just received their money and you ask them to review your app, that period, they tend to positive reviews on the app tends to go up, especially if you have like a subtle accent, like have you enjoyed our services so far? Please review. Even if they've not enjoyed the services from day 1 to day 20th, they receive the salary on the 25th or on the 26th, and you ask them, for some reason, because they receive money through that app, they tend to give you like 5-star reviews or 4-star reviews. And it's why most fintech apps or most banking apps will always get more positive reviews on those. Those are the sort of strategy that we use. So when a client is really happy, when we send their reports and they're comparing KPIs from what they wanted to where they are now, and they see the KPIs are high. I'm not saying that it has to be 100%, but when you send the day you send reports and they're looking at the KPIs and they're saying that things are going well, you just chip it in and say, so you like the services, right? Would you refer us to some of your friends or some of your, and it's usually top of mind awareness. More often than not, you usually do not have to ask your clients if you're doing a good job and if you're giving them awesome customer service. But sorry, somebody came into my room. But beyond that, it's if you don't do a good job, they can't refer you. So first start by doing a good job. Second thing is to have great customer service that ensures that the client is happy. Client happiness is always important. If they're happy, they're referring you. Even if they don't want to refer you, somebody see the job, they will come to them and say, who's doing your marketing for you? And then they have to refer you. I mean, maybe Princewill has other strategies, but typically those are the strategies that we use.
I has said everything. To be honest, if you do everything that she said, you won't have to ask. Because one thing I've also noticed is that it's also social currency for them, that they are referring you to someone and you're able to deliver great value. It also improves their own currency with whoever that person say, yeah, this founder referred me to an amazing person that has helped us achieve so. So that's why that would always happen.
That we also did.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just remembered. So there was a client who referred us to another client. So for context, we were working for a client called I don't even know if I should call the client's name. It's an insurance company, and we're working for them. And then they referred us to another client, and we're really excited because the other client's job was even bigger than theirs. And then the following month, when it was time for them to pay their retainer, the invoice that we sent to them was 10% less. So they called it out. They're like, have you people reviewed your services? We said, no, the 10% less was because you referred to us to a client, and we're really excited about that. Thank you so much. We didn't have to ask them again. To date, we have had 5 or 6 referrals. So recently, the CEO of the company asked me, I've sent you 5 referrals now. Are we still going to pay retainer next month? Because, you should have deducted all this discount for us. And it's the kind of rapport that we now have with him, that he constantly refers us. Even, I'm sure when he's drinking beer, he's thinking, I should probably refer, to remove some discount from my next business. So that's an additional strategy that I think is
amazing. Okay, William, I hope that answers it for you. Adebowale.
Yeah, thank you.
Unmute and ask. We can round up.
Hi everyone. Thanks, Princewill. I think it's been interesting so far. Though my network has been a little messy. I would just like to ask: is it possible we get this slide you just talked about on this call? Is it possible we get it? And also, I would like to say hello to IZ. I've been a follower. I've been following up with you for some months now, and the secret or the nuggets just dropped some minutes ago. Just reiterated that I'm a huge follower of your work, and I hope to learn more from you as time goes on. Also, not to push my luck too far, Princewill, IZ, are there ways you can touch base with you for insights, or just to touch base, insights, advice? Really, I would love to do that once in a while. Thank you, guys.
Okay, for me, social media is a great way. If it has to be us having a session like this, we can jump into that. That's one. For the slides, yes, definitely. You would get that from DigiClan. It's available, and I think they're also going to share the video. So that's amazing. So kudos to them. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Princewill. Yeah, I can still see eyes there, and I just have something to say. So for Adebo Ali, I don't know if you can. Yeah, is that what?
Somebody was asking for my number. I wasn't sure if he was trying to toast me or he was trying to ask for my number for work. I was quickly going to start calling my number, sharp. And then Prince will now do the professional thing. And I was now making it look like, oh, you can follow me on social media. I mean, I was about to just say 080. You know, I was ready to, because look at it, the voice. Yeah. His voice was like, I said, if you don't mind, please give me your number.
Isaac, happy birthday. You have not answered my happy birthday. Belated happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Send money.
All right. Yeah, so thank you so much, Princewill, for doing this with us. I mean, everybody on the call.
Yeah, sure. We'll send money to the biggest man.
All right. Okay. So yeah, everybody will agree with me that it's been an insightful session, and thanks for everyone that registered. Like, you're going to get the slide, and the video will also be uploaded on the YouTube sometime next week, right? So okay, great. So for people that are on the call that are not yet DigiClan member, you can register to join DigiClan. I will drop the registration link shortly, and then we've come to the end of this masterclass. So we have another masterclass most likely in 2 weeks' time, and I hope to see every one of us. Till then, cheers. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. Thanks, Isaac. Thanks, Emmanuel. Thanks, everyone. Have a fantastic weekend.
Thank you.